how can I support the innovation that the teachers are bringing with the technology that we have? We have so much, and I think sometimes it's a matter of everybody wants to look and see what else we can get, but what can we use already in a way that we're not already using it?
Welcome to another episode of the Powercast. I'm actually your guest host, Ryan Imbriale, and don't worry, we do have our regular host, Rick Fernandez, who's here. We're super excited. We are here at ISTE Live 2025, and we have a special guest with us, as you can see. She's sitting in the middle. She's in the hot seat. Alison DeMarco. Alison is the Director of Teaching and Digital Teaching and Learning with the Elizabeth Forward School District. Elizabeth Forward is a fantastic, innovative school district. It is just outside south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Excited to have you, Alison. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and you better get that title right because you created it.
I know. I created this title. There's a long story behind that. Lots of good friends with Elizabeth Forward School District. Elizabeth Forward has been a long-time member of the League of Innovative Schools, which is through Digital Promise.
Okay.
I met the former superintendent and the current superintendent, who you know now well, Rick,
Yep.
and who has been on this Powercast. From Elizabeth Forward, both amazing gentlemen who are doing fantastic things with the district. And I think an example of that is having Alison in the role she has, Director of Digital. Digital's critical here, teaching and learning. So, Alison, all right, great title.
Very good.
Really love your title.
You're not
You can thank me
biased
later.
at all.
Not at all. Would love to know, very specifically for you, what does that mean in Elizabeth Forward?
Well, it means upholding the tradition of innovation. There's been a few people in the role, and so I have some big shoes to fill. I actually hit my 1-year anniversary tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. And really what it means is continuing to guide teachers in bringing innovative ideas into the classroom. So in a lot of cases, that means integrating technology into our curriculum to make the experiences more engaging for our students. And so I think for me, it really is taking some of that research of what's effective and presenting it to the teachers, because they don't have time to do that stuff. They're teaching their students, they're planning for their lessons, curriculum, grading, all of the things. And to throw new ideas and innovation on top of that can be overwhelming for some of them. And so my role is to bring a lot of those ideas into the classroom, and this is when it really gets fun, is when the teachers come to me and say, I want to try something new. Can you help me with it? Can you help me plan? Can you help me make sure I'm using the right technology? And that's really when my job gets fun.
Awesome. One of the things, and then I'll let Rick ask, I'm sure he's got a lot of questions for you. But one of the things I remember, because I've personally visited Elizabeth Forward, actually at least twice, and one of the things I remember about the district is it didn't feel cookie cutter. It didn't feel standard. It felt like there was a real opportunity for the students to take ownership, to be empowered, to do innovative things. Can you share just a couple of the things this past year that happened in Elizabeth Forward where teachers really gave students that agency?
So I think one of the biggest initiatives that we had at our middle school is our middle school principal chose the Future Ready theme. I know my superintendent talked about Future Ready themes with all of you. She chose the Future Ready theme for immersive learning and AR/VR experiences. And what we saw were teachers embracing the idea of bringing virtual reality into the classroom to teach math and science. And so what that did was it gave students the ability to problem solve a scenario that then led them into the content that they were going to learn in that math class or in that science class. And so it brought real world experiences. One in particular that was a really cool module that happened in our science classrooms was the spread of a virus, and it showed how quickly the virus could spread, and then you had to track it and determine how quickly it would continue to spread. And so then that led into the actual lesson itself of the content that the teacher intended to teach. So it was a really great way to really have students take ownership of learning that particular subject matter.
Amazing.
Yeah. And another thing that really cool that happened was at the high school, our one of our teachers took on an animation project with her students, and it was something that we worked in conjunction with other school districts, and each school district took a piece of a movie that they put together, and they did it through animation, and then they had a big red carpet event at the end of the school year where each school district's piece of the movie came together and then premiered as a full movie.
That's awesome.
So
That's the power of working with multiple school districts like you
Yes.
can do in the Pittsburgh area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the Pittsburgh area is amazing at partnerships.
That's something that you don't really, sorry, Texas, I'm just being honest. We don't do that a lot. We're a lot more, we share, but partnering on things like that is not really the norm here. So I got to ask, so you mentioned this is your year anniversary. How do you balance knowing when is the good time to introduce something new versus the speed? Because I sucked at it. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I get excited and it's like, this is getting done. I don't care how it's getting done, but it's getting done. And I'll be first to admit, not the best approach. So how do you, in this era of so much new, how do you balance that?
So that's actually something that I have really grappled with this year. Coming into a district like Elizabeth Forward that is innovative and that has a very carefully cultivated digital ecosystem, I want to make sure that anything I bring in is intentional. I don't want to disrupt what's already there because it was there with purpose and it's working beautifully. So it really is a matter of listening. I felt in my first year listening to hear what the teachers want, where they are in the classroom, and try to meet them there and bring some ideas to them that I think might help them make their lessons more engaging. Listening, which is sometimes really hard for me because I like to talk.
Oh, yeah, it's all three of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
The pot's calling kettles right here, so yeah.
But I really think listening, and I really wanted to listen to what the principals had as far as visions for their building, which, you know, going back to those future ready themes that Mr. Connick put together for us last year and gave that challenge to our building principals. Choose what you want to focus on. And then, you know, listening to them and their needs. So how can I help deliver that from a technology standpoint? And that's really kind of how I want to look at my job going forward, especially at Elizabeth Forward, is, you know, how can I support the innovation that the teachers are bringing with the technology that we have? You know, we have so much, and I think sometimes it's a matter of everybody wants to look and see what else we can get, but what can we use already in a way that we're not already using it?
Whose job is it when you come to a conference and Mr. Connick gets a bunch of ideas and gets on fire? Whose responsibility is like, that's great, but remember, we've got to make sure the timing's right, the fit's right. Somebody's got to be the one pulling the coattails, I would assume. Does that happen?
Yeah, we have a great administrative team at the district office where he'll come back, or, you know, obviously we're here together, so we'll go back and we'll have our admin meetings and we'll talk about the things that we discovered while we were here. And then we kind of go from there. You know, is there a particular building principal that says, you know what, I think I have some teachers that would really be interested in exploring that, and then and then it trickles down from there.
By next year, you'll be able to say, we're not doing that. No, slow down, quit. Like you'll get to the comfort level where somebody, you can be police the ideas and the speed in which they happen. There's always got to be at least one person who's like, slow it down.
Yeah.
Alison, I want to tap a little bit into Pittsburgh. One of the things that I have found unique in the number of times I've visited is actually a little bit what you hit on, and what Rick said doesn't happen in Texas, and I would argue doesn't happen in most places other than like Western PA. Can you talk a little bit about like how this whole Remake learning program in the Pittsburgh area, the Grable Foundation, impacts all of these districts that surround and include Pittsburgh, and what does that look like in the region?
I think that the impact that they have had is the ability to bring us together. We've been a part of the Learning 2025 Alliance, which the Grable Foundation supports, and all the districts in the area that are members of that come together for many different reasons. We have different conferences throughout the year, and then on top of that, which is probably one of my favorite things about the collaboration that happens in Pittsburgh, is we have building visits. So you have different districts that will host a group of local area educators to come in and tour their buildings and see what's happening in
Right.
their classrooms. And so I think that's really important. As a former classroom teacher, sometimes you get very caught up in the four walls of your classroom and you don't really know what's going on
100%, yeah.
outside of there. And I unfortunately was not part of a district that did that collaboration as a classroom teacher. So now that I'm getting to see it as an administrator, it really excites me to think that those possibilities are available to people. And I wish I would have had that opportunity to go and see. I taught English, to go see what other English teachers were doing. And so I really think that the Grable Foundation does an excellent job of bringing area educators together. The other thing that they do is they encourage collaboration, and in a lot of cases that collaboration comes with grant funding that allows us to do such great things.
Okay.
And so, I think that is probably one
The
of the
carrot helps.
It definitely helps in the sense that, when you're looking at some of the innovative things you want to do, we don't always have the money to spend for
Sure.
that. And so when you can partner with other districts to do that, that softens the blow a little bit. One of the things that we did this year was we partnered with a couple other school districts to launch a unified robotics program in the area. And the Woodland Hills School District spearheaded the grant and then dispersed the money to those districts that wanted to be a part of that. So we got to do that as well. So
That doesn't happen in Texas.
Well, we will go visit each other's stuff and take ideas and your network. We all have networks where we'll ask each other how something was done. But to partner with the level of communication that you would have to on those type of large scale interactions, I can't. I'm sure there are examples, but not that I know of off the top of my head.
It's so impressive.
Yeah.
It feels very, and of course he's from there, it feels very Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
I was just going to say, and to kind of go back to Remake Learning Days, that's another area in which, Remake Learning encourages people to go and visit and see what other people are
That's what
doing.
we should be doing, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's the
They're
whole
a model
month.
for it.
The whole month of May in the Pittsburgh region is Remake Learning Days, and you submit ideas for what you want to host, and then there's a calendar posted, and the links are sent out through the Grable Foundation, and they really just do a great job of sharing what area educators are doing. And at the end of the day, they're all there for kids, and so
In the end, it's this gift of, it's what always gets cut first, the whole concept around teacher professional development. And it's this gift in the region that Elizabeth Ford and the rest of those districts really benefit from. And that's that deep commitment to learning, not just student learning, but educator learning. Really powerful. Really powerful.
From the student perspective, what are you seeing students really resonate with in terms of technology and some things that maybe educators and adults thought was going to be a good idea and maybe didn't hit the mark with it with kids? Is there anything that you can think of?
So I actually think that there was that misconception that students would want to be on devices all the time, and they don't. They actually want a really good mix of using their device, but using it for more creative purposes,
Yes.
rather than spending time just being on the device individually. And I think that was something that we thought was going to maybe take off a little bit more, especially after COVID, when you were kind of, isolated in those situations with the remote learning and all of that. But what I think that students have embraced is that, and they've embraced, honestly, voicing that they want those choices, which I find very empowering for students. Obviously, that's why we're here. Yeah. But I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed that surprised me is that they really want a good balance of personal interaction, but yet using their devices to be creative in the process.
What should we be doing just to foster curiosity with kids that we're not doing?
I think we need to listen to them.
Yeah.
What are they interested in? What are they curious about? What do they want to learn? How do they want to learn? We really want to, and we've always strive to do this at Elizabeth Forward is personalized learning. And I think the more that we embrace what technology has to offer, and what I'm seeing, from the conferences that I've been to this year is just that. There's not a lot of, of course, artificial intelligence is obviously the newest shiny
We've talked
toy.
a lot about AI. Yeah.
But what I think I'm noticing here and in the other conferences I've been to is really taking a look at the tools we already have and how do we continue to grow in how we use them. There's just so many tech tools that are out there, but the sessions that I've been to have been not trying to say you should buy this or use this, but how do you use it differently?
That's a really powerful message. It's just the message of don't forget what we already have, and is it being used to its full potential? And I think what you're saying is like that's not necessarily just the way we always thought it should be. There's new opportunities with all the tools that we're already using.
Definitely.
Yeah. Really powerful.
5 years. What are you doing in 5 years?
In 5 years, I will be continuing to look for ways to innovate at Elizabeth Forward School District.
Spoken like a true superintendent right there. Like,
Allison, are you a sports fan?
I am a sports fan.
Okay. All right. So as a diehard Ravens fan.
oh, here we go.
You're gonna go
One
there.
of the because one of the things I enjoy the most about your superintendent and even the former superintendent Elizabeth Ford is the text messages during Ravens Steelers games. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, as a Ravens fan, I'm super excited about your quarterback choice. We'll see how this works out.
I think we're all anxiously awaiting how that's going to work out.
Hail Mary is just like right on point with that. Wish all the best, though. Hey, we'll see.
Rick, you want to take us out?
Yes, I do want to say though, I have yet to eat at Permanente Brothers. Overrated or not?
Definitely not.
Not?
It's not over. I will legitimately
And I love
say it's not
coleslaw
overrated.
on
Yeah.
my sandwich.
Then you
burger.
have to eat there.
No, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Let's
Rick,
go
we
on.
need to get to Pittsburgh.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Well, thank you for joining the show and subjecting yourself to some of this foolishness. We really appreciate it. And I can definitely see why Elizabeth Ford is successful. Not only Keith and his leadership, but his team around him. So just keep doing the good work. And we're so thankful that there are educators like you out there putting in the work every day.
Thank you. I love it.
So
Thanks,
if you
Allison.
like what you heard and saw, subscribe, hit that like button, and join us next time on the Powercast.